Well, some say it's just part of the game. Others say you're putting lives at risk. Concussions are a hot topic around the National Football League right now and other sports as well.
Yeah.
Jim Higgins from the Higgins Firm is here to talk to us about a major settlement that just happened last week. It involves more than 4,500 players, a settlement of about $765 million. The question a lot of people will have is, hey, you know what? These guys play football. Don't they know that they're at risk when they play? Why would the NFL have to pay them?
Well, you know, and it's hard to say when you were talking 765 million, but that's probably why that number came around, because when this lawsuit first started, they were talking billions of dollars, and we're talking an industry that for Monday Night Football alone, I think they get 1.5 billion or something like that a year. So for the NFL, it actually is a really good settlement. They're only having to pay half of it now. They pay the rest half over 20 years, and that was really the key to the case. The case was saying, hey, we think the NFL, through their traumatic brain injury, knew more about concussions and knew more about brain injuries than they told the players, than they let them know. And so what they would have to prove is that they misled these players. And I think that could have been really hard, you know, because we look at everything in this prism of right now. You know, 15, 20 years ago, we didn't know as much about brain injury in the general public. Now we've gotten to know a lot more about it because of the war and people that we hear about. Football, you know, there's just a lot more studies on it, that it's such a debilitating injury. And so you would have to make this jury understand that when these players started, NFL had information about the brain injuries that they didn't have or that they downplayed to them. And that would have been really hard to do.
Do you think there will be more lawsuits like this one, other sports perhaps?
Other sports, there could be. You know, the NFL is going to be the biggest because they had this traumatic brain injury committee that oversaw and studied this. There will be other NFL suits in this. There are people, when we have a class action lawsuit, you can opt out of that class action. And there's several players, I think Portis opted out and a couple others, that are saying, no, I want to bring my own lawsuit. So they're going to go forward. But, you know, he's still going to have that same problems that the other have. But, you know, I think the NFL, part of the reason they did this is there are players out there that really need the medical care. They really need the help. And so they didn't admit liability, and I think they're hoping to put this money for some of these folks and help them out. That's what you hope, is that this was really to do some good for these injured players.
All right. If you'd like to reach Jim Higgins from the Higgins Firm, you can always call him at 353-0930 or email at jim@higginsfirm.com. Our legal eagle, Jim Higgins, thanks for being here.
Thanks. Good seeing you.
You bet.